Jesus has feminine qualities, claims church officials, claiming that gender isn't determined at birth. A Swedish church is worshiping a gender-fluid Jesus. Okay, so Jesus was sometimes a woman and sometimes a man, according to this church in Sweden. Oh my gosh, unbelievable. We didn't want to assign a gender to Jesus right away at birth, said church leader Suzanne Center. It's quite fitting that a feminist is doing this, of course.
Unto you a daughter is born, was it?
Unto you a woman is born. That's I guess what it is. Theologically, we're talking about Jesus as a true God and man. A human is not just he. Well, that's going to Jesus follows. He's referred to himself as a son, father. That doesn't really matter what Jesus refers to himself. It doesn't matter that God is a father, a protective father. It doesn't matter any of that. It doesn't matter that human beings are called to be the bride to God and to be the object partner to God. It doesn't matter that. It just destroy all that. We want to feminize it. We want to create the feminist agenda in there, which basically will make prisoners of women to other control freak women. This is what a lot of women have realized. The feminist movement is a total fraud sham. They're not out to empower you. They're out to destroy and control you. They're out to tell you what you have to think, what color hair you have to build, what kind of political affiliations you have to have, and that you cannot think on your own, and you must be ruled by Gloria Steinem. She is your god and goddess. It is a cult. It is 100% a cult. They don't give you evidence for their arguments. They screw up your life saying marriage is bad, when all the scientific evidence shows you that marriage actually protects children and is the most satisfactory thing actually for women to involve in. And it's the whole movement of not getting married, whole movement of women entering the marketplace and just working for their, quote, value, basically taking on male goal orientations for themselves to find value in themselves and not valuing themselves as mothers, not valuing themselves as caretakers, not valuing themselves as homemakers, etc. All that out the basket, and women are now unhappy, more unhappy. And the Gloria Steinems and all these feminists have been lying to them, saying, oh, they never have children, never have children. And then they go off and have children. I mean, this is what's so ridiculous about them. They themselves are unhappy in their teaching, and they screw up other people's lives, making them depressed, increasing suicide rates, lowering happiness, etc. for women. This is what women have realized, that the feminists are not there to support conservative women. They don't support all women. They're openly attacking women who say, no, I want to get married, I want to have kids, I want to raise a beautiful family. They openly attack those kind of women. So they've been exposed as being complete totalitarians, authoritarians that try to collude with the state to gain state power and steal resources for themselves. And at the same time, the feminists have exposed themselves of being control freak women, literally trying to induct women into their slave caste, so then you have to worship these other crazy control freak women. Meanwhile, they're complaining about patriarchy, which doesn't exist, and saying that's so bad, and so thus you should come under them and live under the slavery. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And again, you have this crazy cult of Church of Sweden doing this thing, trying to make a little satanic cult out there in Sweden, as they're, again, raising the retirement age to pay for migrants as well. Sweden is such a mess. What a pathetic nation that gets sold out to political correctness and the monsters of feminism